So tomorrow we do have more big news coming in for the dollar. So I think that it's really important for us to see the outlook of the dollar so that we can fully understand what's taking place. Because tomorrow at 8:30 we do have average hourly earnings, month over month numbers coming in for January, as well as non-farm payrolls coming in for January, followed by average hourly earnings year over year for January. And all of those numbers, except for the average hourly earnings year over year, which is expected to remain the same. Average hourly earnings month over month and non-farm payrolls for the month of January are both expected to drop, being bearish for the dollar, while we do have a neutral rating on the average hourly earnings year over year for the month of January. So, with that being said, it is going to be important for us to note that we're at a very critical area. So, what is this very critical area that we are at? The very critical area that we are at is that 103 area. So for this 103 area, it is going to be important for this area to hold. We talked about today how the dollar could potentially get support there at that 103 area. Right now, we are looking at the monthly. Let's zoom in on what it is that we see for. We'll actually go into the 4 hour chart. So as we go into the 4 hour chart, one of the things that I want us to notice here is how key and critical these areas are. So right now, again, 103 area for support. The dollar did drop down below that area just yesterday. And so when it dropped down below that area, it was able to be picked back up and then made it back to the top of this range that we predefined at the top of the week. Again, the range that we were talking about for the top of the week was 103.750 down to 103.250. So that was the range that we said price needed to break out of. And so every time it gets above here, it wicks and then it comes back down. In the same way, when it comes down to the bottom side of our range, that 103.250, it does continue to break down. So it is breaking down, but it's not breaking up as of yet. And so with that, it's super important for us to note and to pay very close attention to when our price keeps getting rejected on the upside, but on the downside, it continues to drop. We have to pay close attention to that because right now we are at a very critical area in this 103 area. And again, there's something I want to show you guys as far as understanding what we're looking at. Because 103 is actually a very important area when we actually back this chart out. So when we back this chart out, if you look back throughout the history of the dollar, and right now, right here, what we have as far as 103, the dollar is exactly at 103 at the time of making this video. And you can see how important March 2020, the high was exactly 102,992. So that was the high back in 2020. So again, we didn't see above this high until we come over here to 2022. And we all know kind of everything that took place as far as with the financial markets here inside the United States with that. So also I want to point out here that again, 103 is back in 2016. 103 has been an area that price gets rejected at. So historically, we just back this chart out. So again, now we're going back, we're at 2005. So over here, we're back in 2003. So back in 2003, we had price above as far as going back 2000 up to 2001. We had price going from that 103 area up to 120. But historically, we can see that the dollar has, for the most part, as of late, been underneath this 103 area. So again, we are at a very critical juncture here in the financial markets where we're looking at what is the dollar going to do next. And again, this is on the monthly chart. So when we bring this down to the 4 hour chart and we're able to more clearly see and perceive what it is that we're actually looking at, what we're looking at is this 103 area is a very important area. It's a very important area for so many reasons. If this 103 area is lost, we have history of when this 103 area is lost, that price continues to trend down. Price continues to break down. Is that what we're going to get this time, or will we get a bounce here from this 103 area back into our zone? The area that is going to need to be met for our zone is going to be that 103,250 area. And so I'll just go ahead and put that here for us so that we can actually see that here on the chart clearly. And so this is going to be the area that needs to be broken back into in order for the dollar to stay alive, for the dollar index to still be considered to be alive. Without that, this continues to break down. And so that's what we're seeing for this idea. And we also see for the UC idea that this has a very similar take as far as for the UC idea getting rejected from a trend line that used to support price. So this same trend line that used to support price, we can see it here. That trend line used to support price for a good period of time. So going back, dating back, trend line used to support price. Now trend line is rejecting price. So now we see that the trend line is rejecting price. So now this same trend line is rejecting price. And so we're at a very critical area here for this idea now too, because again, if the dollar falls out of the bottom, this will fall out of the bottom as well. And we do know that there is support here on a monthly basis. When we back out to the monthly chart, we do know that there is support here at the 132,250 area. And so we do have some support down here for it should this idea break all the way back down here. But again, this area is very critical to watch as far as on a potential breakdown. Last but not least, because again, we have dollar news. It is going to be super important for us to understand what is going on and what is taking place as it pertains to this UJ idea. So for the UJ idea, we do have this one. Again, that same thing that we saw for the UC idea, where this prior area of consistent support has now turned into resistance for price. So it was support now turning into resistance, and we'll see this up close. And so when we see this up close, what we're able to see is that price is now getting rejected at this same area that used to support price. So now price is getting rejected here, whereas price used to be supported at that same area. So historically, for a long period of time, there has been support that has been going through this area. So with the support that has been going through this area, that support is not there any longer. So now other support is going to need to be relied upon. We do know that underneath this price action, and that's why I was saying before that 147 is so critical. This area of 147 is so critical. And the reason why this area of 147 is so critical is because underneath it, the next level of price that we have support at is going to be down at that wild card, that wild card area. So that major wild card area down at 145 is a big drop. That's a steep drop from where it is that we are now. So again, if the dollar does not hold up and the dollar continues to break down, then we will continue to see a breakdown in price here. And so what we are watching is we are watching to see if 147 can be the hero in the same way that we just looked and saw the price for the UC idea. We're looking now to see if we can get the same sort of action as far as for price to come back up here and to make it up to 147. And so that's what we're watching. That's what we're looking for. This is what we're waiting for. This is the type of setup that we're looking for this idea. If you want to be bullish on this idea, again, if you want to be bearish on this idea, there are multiple ways that you can take these bearish trades on the UJ idea at this time. And we can definitely get into those. But I know that for the most part, people are looking for ideas that they can be bullish on. And so right now we are bullish on everything that is paired up against the dollar. So that's going to be GU, EU, AU, and NU. We're bullish on those as the dollar continues to drop and remain down here at that 103 area. So again, I look forward to what it is that we're going to see next as it pertains to the news at 8:30, and then we will be taking and placing those trades based upon what it is that we get from the news that comes in at that time.